Hey guys, so I'm in the middle of doing the classes for like the diet classes and also like the general surgery information classes that my practice requires. And I just completed the surgery one. I'm waiting like another 15-ish minutes for the diet one to start. But at the end of the surgery one, he was like, oh, okay, so now we're going to talk about like any insurance questions you guys might have. Um, and the guy starts telling us like, oh yeah, so if you're in this class, that means either you're done with your diet classes or you didn't have to do them at all. And now the hospital program is going to contact you regarding like the next steps, I guess. And I'm like, wait a minute, why am I here then? Because I haven't done any of the diet classes. Today was supposed to be my first one right after this class. And so I'm like, okay, like let me type in my little question of like, I haven't even been told how many classes I have to do technically. And the guy's like, oh, Denise, like, let me look up your chart and your insurance. And he was like, oh, I see that your your insurance does not require you to do any diet classes. So you're good. All you had to do was this surgery class. And now you just need to wait for the hospital to contact you. And I'm like, that is so weird. Like, and he was like, he even mentioned before this, like, oh yeah, I already spoke to you about this on the phone. And I'm like, nobody has called me. Like, literally nothing. Like, all I've done with these people is, like, I filled out my little patient packet, like, talking about, like, my history and, you know, signing all the consent forms and stuff like that. And then after that, I spoke for, like, about 5 minutes with my surgeon, which I already told you guys in a different video. So I'm like, what are you talking about? We've never talked before. I don't know who you are. And I tell him that. I'm like, I've only talked to my surgeon. That's it. And he was like, oh, okay, well, if we haven't talked before, like, that's not an issue. Don't worry about that. Rest assured, like, you have completed your requirements. Like, someone will get into contact with you. Even I'll talk to you tomorrow just to double check things. But no, yeah, you'll be hearing from the hospital in a couple of days. So I'm not sure if I completely trust him. So I told him, hey, I'm going to go to the diet class that starts in a couple of minutes just in case, because I don't want to miss a week. You know, I don't want my surgery to be even farther out. And he was like, yeah, for sure. Like I said, these are either mandatory or they're optional. So feel free to attend one. So yeah, right now I'm kind of like left with the impression that like, just like messiness. Like, why am I not in the loop of these things? Like, I feel like had I not asked this question, I would have just assumed like, yeah, like I'm still have to do the 6 months worth of classes. I don't know. I'm annoyed and I'm also not annoyed because I'm like, well, this means that the process is going to go faster. This is good news. But also, like, I wish someone had communicated this good news to me. So that's where I'm at right now. I took some notes during like the surgery class. Sorry, let me just like hold up my iPad. I will let you guys know what I wrote down after I finish the diet class. I'm going to take some notes for that too. Yeah, talk to you guys after that is done. So it is 7:30. I am currently in the diet class and I just decided I want to like go ahead and tell you my thoughts on it because I'm not taking notes anymore because she is talking way too fast. These classes aren't recorded, so taking notes was just really hard. And I just feel like I'm behind because I technically am. So she had mentioned in the beginning that these classes, like, they're in a certain order. And the one I'm in is sort of like, I don't know, somewhere in the middle. It's definitely not the first one because she said that today is the protein class and they have already done the carbs one. I don't know if they've done others before this, so for sure I'm not in the first one. and she's basically just talking about like ways to get to your like protein. Whoa, sorry. She's talking about how to get to your protein limit, some meals that she suggests, some replacements, how to get ready for the surgery if you haven't had it yet. If you're already at the surgery, like, again, how to eat properly. So yeah, I feel like it's sort of beneficial for me. It's also sort of not. Like, I did learn some interesting things. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, and again, like she's listing like all these great meals, but because I'm vegan, they're just not very applicable to me. I wish I could have like a one-on-one session with her, but it's probably not like available or like covered or something, because there are 44 people in this call. So there's 43 patients, I guess. And if she could do one-on-one sessions, I feel like she would. But maybe they don't pay her enough or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, that's my thoughts so far on this diet class. I'm kind of happy that I maybe am not doing them. I'll probably just do my own research instead, to be honest. Yeah, so let's get into like the stuff I took notes on. Hi guys, so today's the next day. I was supposed to talk to you guys like right after my meeting, but I totally forgot I had to do another school Zoom after that, so here we are. So I just wanted to go over some notes that I took during my, what they call doctor talk. And it's a Zoom session where he just tells you sort of about the surgeries, and then there's like a question session right after where you can ask him specific things about like post-op life and just other additional facts about the surgery. So some of the things I wrote down are, once you have the surgery, your stomach only holds 1/10 of the original volume that it normally holds. So basically, when it goes down from being like a small football to a banana, it holds 1/10 of the volume. The video that we saw was from a company, or I don't know, the title was Realize Gastric Sleeve. So if you guys want to look it up, that is what it's called. If I can find it, I'll post the link in the description bar. He mentioned how the gastric sleeve is the newest of all of the weight loss surgeries. It's only about 10 years old. So I didn't know that. I thought that was very interesting. No wonder not a lot of information is out there about what it's like to like live a long life after the post-op of the gastric sleeve, since again only 10 years that it's been going on. Basically he said that the only kind of like common con of the surgery is it might worsen your acid reflux. And then they talked about 4 different things in order to obtain a healthy lifestyle. Is obviously number 1, get your surgery. Then it's to change your behavior. Then it's to adjust your nutrition and to add some physical activity in your life. Having a BMI of 40 lessens your lifespan by 10 years. The surgery itself takes my practice about 30 minutes. But from start to finish of like you going to sleep, you being woken up, and all like the stuff they do sort of in between, it takes about an hour. Another thing he mentioned is that the hospital right now, because of COVID, they don't want patients, at least like bariatric patients, being there a long time. So you leave the same day that you get the surgery. I thought that was like really surprising, just because a lot of people on YouTube are like leaving 24 hours later, maybe 2 days after that, 3 days if you have some sort of complication. And I was like, I want to stay there as long as possible. I do not want to leave the same day, but who knows, maybe once I get the surgery I might feel differently. I know, like I said, a lot of people are kind of like, no, get me out of here, I just want to go. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's see. So interestingly enough, another thing is that my surgeon does not make the 2-week liquid diet mandatory. He highly recommends it for everyone, but it's not mandatory. It's only mandatory for a specific group of people, and those are the people that are way above a BMI of 40. And when people kind of ask him to like be more specific, he said that's the people that are like 400, 500, 600 pounds. Let's see. Oh, he did mention that any like hormonal birth control is recommended to be either taken out if you have implant, or if you're taking birth control pills to stop them before the surgery. I think he did mention like kind of when to take it out, but I did not write that down. Let's see. Oh, he also said that my insurance, which is Medi-Cal, does not require the 6 months of diet classes. I was really confused because other people on YouTube that have Medicaid have been required to do the 6 months. So I thought there was a mistake, and I was kind of like, no, you please double check. Like, I'm pretty sure you're wrong. And no, they doubled down and told me that no, you do not have to take 6 months of the diet classes. I ended up going to one anyway. And I'm kind of happy I don't have to do them for 6 months, because I didn't really like how they were formatted. Like, it's literally just a dietitian kind of talking to you like this. Like, she's like saying, okay, today we're talking about this category. Here are all the meals that I recommend to satisfy, you know, your X amount of grams of proteins. And it's literally just her listing foods. Don't do this, take this. This is a good example of that. And I'm just like, I could read that on a flyer. I don't really need like an hour of this. So I guess kind of good. I went to one anyways, just to see if I was missing anything. Yeah, I don't think I would go back for another 6 months. But in the protein class, she did mention some things. So here are like some facts that you might hear in your diet class in like the protein session. She mentioned that whey in protein drinks are the most readily absorbed kind of protein. And that animal protein is also the most readily absorbed in terms of food. But if you're plant-based, i.e. vegetarian, vegan, whole food, plant-based, you can totally do plant-based protein. There's no rule saying that you can't. She says that once you start switching to like more solid foods post surgery, you should be chewing 20 to 30 times every time you take a bite, and that is so your stomach does less work. And she has a 3-2-1 rule where every bite you're taking, I guess, or no, sorry. So let's say you take 6 bites out of your plate. 3 of those bites should be protein, 2 should be veggies, and 1 should be carbs. After surgery, my surgeon does 3 weeks of liquids. And then protein requirements are 65 to 85 for women. And if you're a man, it's 75 to 95. Right after the surgery, you should be getting about 48 ounces of water, which from what I've heard on people on YouTube is very hard to do. And the last thing I wrote down is that you should be drinking 1 ounce of water every 5 minutes after surgery. So going through like a 12-ounce bottle should take you an hour. Okay, so lastly, I want to go over the emails I received from the hospital. Up until now, I've only been talking to people from like my surgeon's practice, and the way they sort of explained it to me is that my surgeon has like his own practice where like he does stuff there, but He's also like contracted through my insurance to do surgeries at a local hospital. So I finally am in contact with people from the actual hospital, and it is the coordinator from their bariatric program of like the weight loss surgery, I guess, part of the hospital. And she basically told me that now that I've satisfied like the initial requirements, which was like, you know, filling out my like patient information packet, having the one-on-one talk with the surgeon, going to the doctor talk Zoom call, and since I have no 6 months requirement of his diet classes, I can now proceed to the next phase of the requirements. And so the bariatric program from the hospital's requirements is a nutrition seminar, which is just a fancy term for watch this video on YouTube. It was really quick. It was probably like 12 minutes. So I've already gone ahead and done that. The next thing is go to a support group seminar with their psychologist. And I've already emailed her asking her to join the group. And she sent me the information. And she sent me like the little calendar. I think it's like twice a month. And that will start in like 2 weeks, I think. I still need to ask them how many times I need to go. If this is just like a go twice for the first month and then you're done sort of thing. Or if I need to go all the way up until my surgery. So the last thing I have to do is a psychological evaluation, and I have the option of going to my therapist or a therapist that they recommend. They send like a little 3-person list of people in Orange County that are very familiar with the hospital's program. But those people, I'm not sure if they don't take like any insurance at all or something like that, because when they sent over their information, they were like, oh, this is how much they charge for a session. And the way they make it seem, yeah, like I said, it's almost like they don't take any insurance at all. So I could ask them, but I think what I'm just gonna do is either see my therapist that I pay out of pocket for, or I could see someone through my insurance, have like a maybe 1-time session or 2-time session, we'll see, and just get the approval that way. I haven't really decided. The only other thing that they kind of sent me was their packet for the post-op diet. I honestly haven't looked through it. I'm just looking through it right now, and yeah, it looks like they're just listing like the 3 stages of the diet. So like basically the liquid, the puree, and then the regular food. Yeah, regular food. They also include like a little section where it teaches you how to read like the nutritional facts on foods. More summaries. Yeah, a lot more summaries. Bariatric pre-op homework assignment. Oh, okay, so their little homework assignment basically just says like keep a food diary, discontinue the use of straws, don't drink carbonated or caffeinated drinks, a suggested shopping list for pre-surgery, that's pretty nice, some supplements that they recommend, that's nice. Yeah, so pretty standard. It's probably something everybody receives from their surgeon's office. Probably not any different from the one you got or the one your friend got. Right now, the only other thing to do, like I said, is to reach out and ask about how many times I need to go to the support group, and then ask if sorry, I also need to ask them if my therapist, whenever I end up choosing who I'm going to go to, can get a like rubric or guide to what they need to ask me or what kind of letter they need to write showing that they approve of me getting the surgery. And they told me after I finish these requirements is when the the medical procedures are going to start. So basically when they do like the endoscopy or whatever it's called, and the other tests, if they think you have like sleep apnea or I don't know, any other complications that they need to look for. And then no, not after that, but somewhere in between, they told me while I'm doing those things is also when I get assigned my surgery date. Yeah, so I don't know how long these things are going to take, so I don't even have a guess anymore as to when I would have my surgery. Like I said in the last video, I was thinking it would be like late summer, end of July, I think, is what I said. So yeah, now it's kind of up in the air because I don't know how long any of these things are going to take. Yeah, but thanks for watching this video. This is where I'm at, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.